Hello and welcome to another episode of Cascadia Mountain Weather. It's Friday, February 21st, and we have an atmospheric river about to hit us, unfortunately. So Wyatt's going to go into the details on that.
Yep. So here is a current satellite image. This is basically over Friday, kind of showing the stream of moisture that's incoming. You can see this big storm going up into kind of BC and the southern Alaska right here. And you can see that down here we actually can see Hawaii. And so this is why we sometimes call them the Pineapple Expresses, because they bring warm, somewhat subtropical, maybe even tropical moisture up into our region, moving into kind of the Pacific Northwest, our Seattle, Portland area. Generally, the places to the south of this will be the warmest, and the places to the north of this might end up getting staying kind of cooler and having a little bit more snowfall on that north side. Not sure we're going to see that much this time. So this is the current radar that we have, just looking over kind of the Pacific Northwest, and you can see that we have a lot of rain moving in right now. This is kind of the first pulse before the real atmospheric river arrives on Saturday. And you can see that we have kind of our rain shadow going on right here in the central Puget Sound, and then kind of precipitation moving throughout the entire Cascades and Olympics. Um, Wanted to highlight kind of like how this is different from what we've been seeing. So right now our snowpack, a little bit better than last week, which is nice. We've bumped up to about 70% in the North Cascade. Some sections have actually dropped a little. This is obviously not going to do anything to help the snowpack, but because we've had some dry snow, we might absorb a lot of the water and might not lose too much snowpack. We might just see some compaction. So we'll have to see how we kind of end up coming out of this early next week. And then just wanted to highlight kind of this is the departure from normal precipitation in inches since the beginning of the year. You can see that Washington, kind of the lowlands, are 5 to 10 inches below normal. The mountains are up to about 20 inches below normal, which it's like interesting. Sometimes we'll see these enormous pattern shifts where it'll be really dry for a while and then it will be really wet for a while and really dry for a while, kind of this streakiness. And it does seem like we've been pretty streaky so far this winter. So how much precipitation are we going to get? This is total precipitation modeled through about 4 a.m. On Monday morning. You can see that this is for the European model. This is generally showing maybe 1 to up to about 3 inches in the lowlands, maybe up to 5, maybe even 10 inches in the mountains, which our American model, the GFS, and specifically kind of our high resolution American model, also seems to agree with up to 10 inches kind of on the higher peaks, generally 1 to 3 inches. The GFS actually shows a little bit more precipitation down in kind of the Seattle Tacoma area over the weekend. So that would be kind of interesting to see and go forward. And like I mentioned, with this precipitation, you can see all this green right here, lots of rain coming in. That also generally means that our snow levels are going to be pretty high. And we're going to see a gradient of our snow levels from north to south. So I'll go into that in a little second. But I just want to highlight that generally, most places that you're going to be wanting to ski this weekend are going to be seeing rain. Maybe you'd be able to get above it at like 7,000 feet. But generally, you're going to be seeing a lot of rain. There is a chance that kind of early next week, Tuesday, we'll get a cooler storm in right before we kind of warm up again. So there might actually be some snow down to about 3,000 feet, maybe 4,000 feet kind of on Tuesday. So if you're thinking about getting out, that could be a day that might be okay to have some decent snow. Like I said, I was going to highlight this temperature gradient. So this is our 5,000-foot temperatures. These kind of blue-green colors represent temperatures below freezing. This is all in Celsius. And then these warm temperatures, these reddish colors, represent warmer temperatures. And this is from earlier today. So this is 4 a.m. Friday. And you can see that as we move through Friday, we're not warming up too much in the North Cascades and even into Saturday. And then you can see that this big stream of warmth, kind of 4 to 5 degrees at 5,000 feet, obviously above freezing. So that's why our freezing levels are rising so high up to about 6,000 feet or 7,000 feet. And you can see how the southern section, kind of down towards Oregon, is quite a bit warmer than we are up towards the North Cascades. As we move through Saturday into this is kind of Saturday evening, you'll kind of see these pulses of warmth and temperatures increase and decreasing. And then as we move into early next week, you can see that we will have some temperatures below freezing, so that's where we could see some of that chance of snow, especially going in, late in Monday into Tuesday. Okay. Um, I wanted to highlight kind of our 3 hour precipitation to see like what chances, if you're thinking about going out, especially in the lowlands, because the mountains are going to be very, very wet. What is your best opportunity to miss the rain? So this is kind of Friday evening, right about now. You can see that it's raining along the mountains, a little bit in the lowlands. Saturday morning might be a decent chance. It looks like most of the lowlands are going to be out of the rain. And then this is when the big bulk of the moisture moves in, kind of early afternoon Saturday. So if you can get out Saturday morning, you'll probably stay dry. There might just be some showers around. Um, Most of this precipitation moves through by early Sunday, so that's another good chance that you could avoid some of that rain, although there will be some kind of showers moving through after that as well. So early Saturday, early Sunday are both decent chances if you want to get out to avoid the rain. And then one final thing that I wanted to mention is about the wind. So we are going to see some blustery conditions coming in, especially Saturday, where we might see gusts kind of 30 to 40 miles an hour, especially in the north interior, and maybe up to 50 miles an hour along the coast. And then there's another, like going into Sunday night into Monday, you'll see some pretty big gusts into the mountains, so 50 miles an hour possibly. And then there is a chance that's been showing up on the models recently for a stronger storm on coming in kind of late Monday into Tuesdays with some pretty breezy, even windy conditions. So that will be kind of that's past the weekend, but something to watch out for.
So the forecast for the mountains in a lot of places is pretty bad this weekend. This is Snoqualmie Pass at 3K. You can see temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s to low 40s and just really a deluge of rain. I mean, 1 to 2 inches possible Saturday night alone. So it's not a good time to be out in the mountains. Additionally, the avalanche danger is going to be pretty high. So going into Saturday, we got high avalanche danger in a lot of the North Cascades and Olympics because they're getting more precipitation during this period. So specifically, they're, calling out a few different types of issues. So if we look through, number one is wet slab. We could have some really big wet slabs. And I think there's concern just because we have a lot of dry snow lower in the snowpack from the colder period, and we still have like a persistent weak layer that could trigger some pretty big wet slabs on top of that. So, definitely watch out even far below tree line. As an example of this picture, you can see what avalanches happen in this kind of situation. But hopefully the silver lining of this is maybe that this kind of flushes out the persistent weak layer and maybe the snowpack can heal through this rain. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So kind of looking at the temperature, you can see that next weekend, this is fast forward to March 1st, the projection by the Euro is for temps in the 60s in the lowlands. So that could be the first real spring-like weather looking long term. And it probably will be drier during this period, fortunately, but definitely warm. So our 6 to 10 day outlook is warm across the west and also dry. Maybe a little bit on the dry side, but we'll see how that plays out. So there is hope for a miracle March. The monthly forecast, once again, is for below average temperature and above average precipitation. Then again, that was the same forecast we had for February, and we got the cold and we got the precip separately, which was not ideal. So we could always see something like that happen, but maybe La Nina has, one last little push to improve the winter. So thanks to everyone for watching, and we hope you have a good weekend despite all the rain.